Hi guys. Good evening everyone. How are you all doing? I hope you're all joining in. Before we start the session, let's do a quick sound check, video check, audio check, everything. So am I visible and audible? Can you quickly give me a yes or no so that I know I'm visible or audible, and then we can start the session from there. So quick everyone. If you can see me and hear me. Yes or no? Let's start from there. Yeah. Also remember to hit like, share, and subscribe. You know that we love the likes, we love the shares. And of course, the subscribe is essential because if you wish to participate in this discussion that we have, you must be subscribed because the chats are subscriber only, right? So therefore, make sure that you are here and make sure that you are participating in the chat. Okay. All right, let me also check. Let me start YouTube on my phone so that we know how to do this. Oh, wonderful. All right, so I can hear myself on my phone. All those who are here, can you give me a yes or no, please? Somebody, you can also write in your name, and if you have written any of the cats, you could also do that. Okay. Right, guys, I'm just waiting for you guys to quickly join in. And so I'm sure you've heard of our results. We've got 550 plus CAT 2024 toppers, guys. 99.99 percentilers. So many, we have more than 100 IIM Ahmedabad selections, more than 100 FMS selections. Amazing results all around. So do check that out, guys. I'm sure you will find that equally exciting as I am finding it. All right, so we have a good number of people who have joined in. So let's get started, everyone. We'll not waste the time. In the last class, I had shown you the different types of passages, and we had said, okay, here are the different types. How would you approach them? Let's talk about that today. Okay, so again, we go back to our 5 types of passages and we'll try and understand how each one is going to be. Is that okay, everyone? All right. So very important, right? Different passages require different reading strategies. Now, I'm sure you're aware of that. See, when we read passages or when we understand passages, or for that matter, when writers write passages, they write different things using different styles. For example, if I'm writing a story, and this is a very simple thing. If I'm writing a story, there will have to be a hero, there will have to be an anti-hero or a villain, right? And there will be a sequence of events that will happen to both of them. And then there will be a resolution of that issue, right? So whatever the problem is, whatever is the sequence of events, that will lead us to some place. So when we are writing a story, it is essentially a narrative, right? We start from one point and we go to another point. So it just follows a sequence like this. Okay, so that's one way of writing an article. Another way of writing an article could be somebody could tell you, okay, which of these newspapers is better, the Times of India or the Hindu? Do compare them for me. So then maybe you are writing Times of India versus Hindu, and you're trying to explain the pros and cons of both. So in this case, I will say 1 plus for this, 1 plus for this, 1 plus for this, 1 minus for this. I'll do a comparison or a contrast, right? Now this becomes a comparison or a contrast structure, right? I could ask you to describe, let's say, the golden toad, right? Let's say I ask you to describe the golden toad. What will you do? You will give a very descriptive passage. What is it? How does it look? Where does it live? What does it eat? What are its enemies? And so on, right? So if I'm to ask you to describe something, you will give as many descriptions, as much description as is possible. So depending on what the topic is of a particular passage, the writing style differs, right? Similarly, when we are reading passages of different types, then the reading strategy also has to differ. You can't have the same reading strategy for a fiction piece that you will have for a piece of philosophy, isn't it? So we have different reading styles also, different reading strategies also. The way I read a fiction at the rate of 1400 word per minute. I read philosophy at the rate of 250 word per minute. The reading styles are different. When I'm reading fiction, I can do a skim and scan. I find a page boring, I'll just skip it. I'll just look at the broader outlines and not read. If I'm reading philosophy, I will try to read absolutely in depth because I want to understand it. So depending on what my goals are, what is the thing that is being talked about, there will be different reading strategies that you would use. Now, what helps you in better comprehension and answering, of course, is what is the type of this article. So is this a particular type? Is it a certain way? Then you will actually use it that way. So once you've understood the type of article, it's fiction, it's philosophy, it's science, it is pop culture, it is contemporary work, it is art and literature, whatever. Once you understand what type it is, then you find it answer a question. So today what we are doing is we're trying to learn some tips for handling various types of passages. So that is going to be the goal for today's session, that we learn the various types of tips and tricks for different types of articles. Okay. I hope all of you have liked the session, please. If you haven't yet done that, do make sure that you've liked it. So we know from the previous session that there are 5 different types of articles that are there. You have what is called the narrative, which is used in stories. Okay. You have what the argumentative, which is used in persuasive article. Right? I want to persuade you to my point of view. So speeches are like that. Newspaper editorials are like that. They're very persuasive. They're trying to put a point across, right? So persuasive stuff. Expository, very, very factual and getting into the heart of it. So stuff that is research based, research work, right? That's all expository. Research, dissertation, essays. Okay. Analytical articles do a comparison. This is good, this is bad. Right? It could do a comparison, it could do a contrast also. Compare two things positively, both the good things or the opposites also. So you could have articles like that. And then you have the descriptive articles, which give you a sense experience, right? So you can have all different types of articles, and each of these types of articles take a different style of reading, right? So I hope you remember this, that we have discussed these types of articles and that they are going to be very, very helpful. Let's look at the first type. The first type, of course, is the narrative or the story-based passages. Okay. You can also call them the chronology-based passages, right? It's the chronology or the sequence of events. So here what is important is you focus on the flow. What happens first, what happens later, what happens finally. You track characters, setting, and the sequence of events. So it's very important to remember what is the sequence of event, what happened first. The second thing you will do is understand the tone and the mood. Is the passage nostalgic, thinking of the past? Is it funny? Is it tense? This you will come to read, understand from what is written. Look for the underlying theme. What is this passage about? Is it about family, identity? Is it coming of age? Is it conflict? What is the crux of that story? We must understand that. And strategy, of course, will be you summarize everything mentally after each paragraph. So once the paragraph is done, in your own mind, tell yourself, okay, here is what the passage is talking about, right? So you do the summarization. So that will be the way you will handle the narrative or the story based passages. Let's take a look at a small passage and we'll try and see how it works out. So let's take a minute and read. I'm going to remove myself from the screen for this minute and you read it very quickly. All right, I'm bringing myself back into this thing and let's read this together. So it says, when Emma first arrived in the bustling city, bustling means busy, she felt like a small boat tossed about in a storm. So that means she was not very certain of her place. Everywhere she turned, there were rushing crowds, blaring horns, flashing lights, unfamiliar faces. It's very strange for her. She missed the quiet park, familiar streets, and friendly neighbors of her small hometown. However, as days turned into weeks, she found herself drawn to the vibrant energy around her. She discovered a cozy bookstore tucked between towering office buildings, made friends with the barista who knew her order by heart, and learned to find peaceful corners even amidst the city's chaos. Gradually, the overwhelming city transformed into a place full of hidden treasures and comforting routines. Now, which statement best summarizes Emma's experience with city life? So, what is Emma's experience with city life? Is it that she immediately fell in love with the city? She struggled to adapt and eventually gave up? She gradually found comfort and acceptance in her new environment, or she decided to return to her hometown after a short time? Okay. Tell me what the correct answer is going to be. I'm waiting for your answers. All right, I've got one answer which says C. Let's take a look. The correct answer here, guys, will be option number C, because in this very last line which says the overwhelming city transformed into a place full of hidden treasures and comforting routines. So she did not go back. She did not give up. She immediately fell in love. No. So she gradually found her comfort in this city. So yes, the correct answer is going to be C, which is absolutely right. Okay. Wonderful, you guys. All right, let's look at the next type, argumentative passage. Now, what is the argumentative passage all about? Like we said, it is persuasive in nature. So the author is trying to tell you about something or convince you about something. So what he will do is he will give you the good pluses of something or the minuses of the other. Okay, so he says, I like this, so the pluses are this. I don't like this, the minuses are that. So that. How will you read this and understand it? So you first identify what is the author's main argument. What is the core claim? What is he trying to tell you? What is that thing that he's convincing you about? And then notice supporting evidences. Now, supporting evidences are very important. These help you create questions. For example, statistics, examples, expert opinions, any quotations that are given, any names of books that are given. These are evidences and they are question pockets. So here you will have questions. So these you pay attention. This is very important. Then third, look for the counter arguments. So if there are some opposing views, how does the author address them? Does he reject them? Does he prove them? What does he do about the counter arguments? And then strategy, of course, you draw a quick structure in your mind. What is the main idea? What is the thing that he's saying? What are the reasons for that? And what are the counterpoints for that? Right? So that will be your idea. So the passage is talking about X. All these are pluses of X. All these are minuses of Y. Okay. And then you've got your argumentative passage. So when you're reading, please be sure to identify what is the core idea or the core claim. What is it author is trying to sell to you? He's selling you something here, right? All right. Again, let's take a minute, read this passage, and then we'll come back and discuss the question. Okay. Again, I'm removing myself from the screen for all right, let's look at this passage. It's a very sweet, short passage, but very sweet one. So it says the debate. What debate is this? Over whether social media platforms should be regulated as public utilities continues to intensify. So there is a debate. And the supporters are arguing that these platforms have become essential for communication and therefore they require oversight to ensure fairness and prevent abuse. So if you want everything to be fair and not abusive, you have to see them. The opponents are countering that regulation would stifle innovation and free enterprise principle will be violated. But both sides are agreeing that influence of social media is profound and it demands thoughtful consideration. Right? So this is what the author is saying, whether social media platforms should be regulated. This is the issue, and there are some supporters and there are some opponents. What is one point on which both supporters and opponents of social media regulations agree? So we know that this was the place where both sides agreed that influence of social media is profound and demands thoughtful consideration. So let's take a look at our options. Anyone who's going to give us an answer? Yes, Samrat, can you give us an answer? Still waiting for an answer. All right, I've got B as the answer. Very good. Let's take a look. Social media should be banned entirely. The author has not said it should be banned entirely. This is an extreme option, and therefore I'm eliminating it. The social media has a profound impact on public discourse. Yes, this is something that the author has said, putting a star on this. Regulation of social media will harm innovation. It would stifle innovation, yes, but would it harm it? No. So here is a distortion or something that is a slight change from the passage. So I'll say sidetrack. Okay, look at the last one. Social media is less important than other forms of communication. This is a contradiction from the passage, guys. The passage says something else. It is saying that the social media is much important. This one is saying it is not as important. Eliminate. So the best answer here is going to be option number B. Okay, I hope you got that. All right, let's take a look. Yes, B is the correct answer, everyone. Let's do the next one. All right, the third type of passage is the expository or the informative passage. I don't know why I forget to pick up my pen. Expository or informative passages give you information about something. So they're focused on information flow. How are the facts and the ideas organized? You pay attention to that. Here is the main idea. It gives you 3 key points about the main idea. Then each of the key point is followed by, let's say, examples to each one of them, right? So this organization of the ideas you must understand. You must notice cause, effect, comparisons, examples, because these will signal important relationships and these will become places where you will get questions from. You must identify the structure of the passage. Is it chronological? Is a classification given? Is it a problem solution thing? What is the author trying to do? Pay attention to transitions because these will give you clues to which way the passage is going. Transitions, remember, can be both positive and negative, right? So your conjunctions, pay attention to them. All right, here's your passage. Let's take a minute, read it, and then we will discuss this. Again, I'm removing myself for a minute from. All right, let's take a look at this passage and we'll try and solve this. So it says, photosynthesis is the process through which green plants and certain organisms convert light into chemical energy. So it's talking about what? Photosynthesis. This process, which process? That of photosynthesis, takes place where? Primarily in the chloroplast of the plant cell. And what does it involve? The absorption of sunlight by chlorophyll. So the process is explained. What is the result? Carbon dioxide and water are transformed into glucose and oxygen. Photosynthesis is now the importance, not only crucial for plant life, but also for maintaining atmospheric oxygen levels. So therefore, it is supporting life on Earth. So we've discussed everything about photosynthesis. Now look at the question. According to the passage, why is photosynthesis important beyond just supporting plant life? Because it is also maintaining atmospheric oxygen levels, isn't it? So it produces food for animals? No, that's not the reason. It transforms water? Yes, it does that, but that's not the reason. It helps maintain atmospheric oxygen level? Yes, the passage very clearly says that. Not only crucial for plant life, but also for maintaining atmospheric oxygen levels. It prevents global warming? Yes, it does, but the passage did not say about that. So therefore, best answer will be option number C. All right, let's look at the next type. The analytical passages, guys, are all about, looking at a thing from all of its sides. So you read the passage slowly and carefully. The passages will deal with abstract concepts, complex reasoning. So you pay very close attention to every idea that is presented. You define the key terms mentally and understand what the author means by terms like justice, freedom, identity, truth. Keep all this in mind. They frequently involve critical definitions of these concepts, so those are crucial to your understanding. Break down the complex sentences into easy, small parts. The analytical writing generally has long, layered sentences, so break it into smaller parts and understand one idea at a time. The strategy here is paraphrase all the difficult ideas in your own word so that you've simplified complex argument, and then you will be able to understand the logic and the structure of the passage. And then you can go ahead and do the analytical passage. Okay. Here's a small one. Let's take a minute and read. All right, let's read this passage and see. So it says, in the Republic, Plato proposes that justice is a form of harmony that is achieved when everyone plays their appropriate role in society. So, in his book, The Republic, Plato says that when everyone does their job, then that is called justice. This idea challenges the conventional view. What conventional view? That justice involves equitable distribution of goods and rewards. Plato says that the real essence of justice lies in the balance between individuals' desire and their duty. So, desire and duty, that balance is justice. Then he says, by dividing society into three classes, rulers, warriors, and producers, he says justice is achieved when each class does its own job without interfering in the role of others. Now, this vision of justice, that all of them do their own jobs, focuses less on fairness in distribution and more on proper ordering of the parts of society. So, we are talking of what is justice and everything else about it. So, what is Plato's view of justice? Let's take a minute and read. Justice is achieved when goods are distributed fairly. Justice is a balance of individual desires and societal duty. Justice means equal rewards for all members of society. And justice is based on the collective effort of society's workers. All right, so let's take a minute and check any answers that I'm getting. Haven't got an answer. Let's take a look. So justice is achieved when goods are distributed fairly. The author did not say that. He says not distribution of good, but on proper ordering of the parts of society. So does it mean equal rewards? No. Does it mean collective effort of society's workers? No. It's a balance of individual desires and societal duties, and that my dear, will be your answer. Okay. He has said it also. Balance between individual desires and their duty. He has given you this answer. Okay. So that becomes your correct answer. All right. B is the correct answer. All right. Descriptive passages. What is a descriptive passage? So you understand what the core concept is. Focus on the author's hypothesis, process, results. Look at the description. See the tone of the author. Even if you don't know every term, look for the tone, positives and negatives. Pay attention to the descriptive words and phrases. That's often tested. Relate every new information to everyday understanding when possible and understand the passage. Okay. All right. Here's your passage. We'll take a minute and read it. All right. Let's take a look at this one. So this one says the theory of plate tectonics revolutionized the study of geology in the 20th century. So it is telling you what revolutionized geology. According to this theory, Earth's lithosphere is divided into several plates that float on the semi-fluid asthenosphere between them. These plates move due to the convective currents in the mantle, leading to the phenomena such as earthquake, volcanic activity, mountain formation. It provides a unifying framework for understanding the dynamic nature of Earth's surface. Talking about what is plate tectonics, okay? So according to the passage, what causes the movement of the Earth's plates? Is it wind erosion of the surface? No. Is it tidal forces? Is it convection currents in the mantle, or is it gravitational pull from the sun? Of course, very clearly it was option number C, as it is mentioned in the passage itself. The other three are not mentioned in the passage, and therefore they cannot be your answer. Okay. Yes, see, convective currents in the mantle is the correct answer. All right, so that brings us to the end of today's session, guys. I hope you have learned a bit from this session. I will see you again next week with one more topic, and we'll discuss something more about reading comprehension. Okay, I hope you have already hit the like button, shared, subscribed, and so on and so forth. Right? Thank you so much, everybody. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. I'm going to see you next Monday. Adios, my amigos. And if there's any specific topic you want me to take up, send me a message. Drop a message in the comments. Okay. All right. Bye bye.